Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथामह्यं दत्ति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितम् तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्याधीशतारिणे पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदम श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome to our systematic study of Vedic scriptures. That in Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, we are enlightened by the Lord, the understanding of what is actual knowledge and what is not. And last week we were discussing about the body, its purpose. And it's very important for us to have this understanding, and only when we understand this, then we can actually lead a realistic life. As long as our plans are based on things that are not real, then those plans doom to destroy our purpose. The purpose of this body, the purpose of this body is to be used as a vehicle to attain the destination. When we do not understand this, and when we indulge in all kinds of activities which are pertaining to the body, then what will happen is we will desire either a better body or a desired body, and accordingly we keep moving from one body to the other body. And then I, or we, the spirit souls, are entangled in this body. Today we are going to discuss and actually crack that question that we have, which is very difficult for us to accept it. And though we know it, we are not able to um, apply it. And because of these challenges, what is happening is that we always again go back to our misunderstand or sorry, misidentified identity, which is this body. What I can say is Bhagavad Gita is a guide for life, uh, which also means that it is a companion that we should have for our lifetime because we need a regular dose of Bhagavad Gita. We need a regular dose of Bhagavad Gita in our life. Otherwise, what happens is we again go back to the understanding that I am this body. And when we think that I am this body, then again we end up in the cycle of birth and death, life after life. But when we make Bhagavad Gita as the companion for our life, what happens is that we elevate our consciousness that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. I am not the Kshetra, I am Kshetrajna. And in the same sense, I also understand others are not the field, but they are actually field uh, knower. Uh, and last week we were discussing that there are two kinds of knower. One is Jivatma and the other one is Paramatma. Both are knowers, and we also very elaborately discussed about the difference between I as a living entity and the supreme or super soul, who is the Lord who pervades in every being, in every atom. So he pervades and as a witness and permitter, he functions so that we are coming to the understanding that I, as the knower, should actually attain supreme destination, not temporary destination where I hop from one body to the other body, but actually supreme destination, which is going back to Godhead in the spiritual world. So that's what 13th chapter is, a opening of Jnana Yoga. After Krishna described from 6th chapter to 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. Yeah. So to support, so that we might not think, hey, it's emotion. Bhakti means, is it some sentiment or is it like, what can we think? Is it only feelings or is it only personal thing that if someone thinks that this, they can do it and it's called as bhakti? No, bhakti is scientific process. Bhakti is a scientific process of reconnecting ourselves to the Supreme Lord or to our source. We call yoga. Yoga means to connect, yunjan. Yeah? So yoga means to connect, and Bhakti Yoga is the supreme yoga through which we can connect to our ultimate source, which is Supreme Lord. But before that, we need to clear our misunderstandings. Otherwise, our activities, which are confined based on our understanding, will entrap us in this world. And because of that, we continue in this cycle of uh, mistress, uh, miseries, and distress, and all these things. So let's take the support of Bhagavad Gita and elevate our consciousness. And 13th chapter, last verses. If we can understand these last verses, uh, I can very confidently say that we will make a heap of advancement and will be able to see the whole world in a totally different perspective. Uh, Otherwise, we might confine our understanding, identity, and all these things which we don't know because we are just seeing others how they are doing. We just following that, but we need to we need to have a vision of following the sadhus, uh, and we should follow whom Tattvajnanis, who is greater than Krishna in terms of Tattvajnana, and he is giving this. So let's benefit from that. I'm just sharing my screen. Is there someone who would like to read 31? Let me pick 1 second. Hmm, hmm, Don't see, I don't see how else. Hmm. Anyone volunteering already?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Shall I read?
Second part, sorry. Maybe, yeah, you can read this, and I'm already calling out names. Shakti Mataji, maybe then 32. Yeah,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah. Okay.
not now, 32.
Okay,
So
Prabhuji. Yeah.
31 Path Prabhu, 32 yourself. Madhu Prabhu, would you like to read? Then 33.
Okay, Prabhuji, you can read.
Okay, for now, let's start with these three verses. Okay, please.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, verse 31. Yada bhut prithak bhave makasthamanu pashyati tata eva cha vistarang brahma sampadati. Translation. When a sensible man ceases to see the different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. Purport. When one can see that the various bodies of living entities arise due to the different desires of individual soul and do not actually belong to the soul itself, one actually sees. In the material conception of life, we find someone a demigod, someone a human being, a dog, a cat, etc. This is material vision, not actual vision. This material differentiation is due to a material conception of life. After the destruction of the material body, the spirit soul is one. The spirit soul, due to contact with material nature, gets different types of bodies. When one can see this, he attains spiritual vision. Thus, being freed from the differentiation like man, animal, big, low, etc., one becomes purified in his consciousness and able to develop Krishna consciousness in his spiritual identity. How he then sees things will be explained in the next verses. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, can Shakti Mataji read the next verse, please?
Yes, Prabhuji. Anaditvan nirgunatvat paramatmayam avyay sarira sto kaunateya na karoti na lipyate. Translation. Those with a vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Purport. A living entity appears to be born because of the birth of the material body, but actually the living entity is eternal. He is not born, and in spite of his being situated in a material body, he is transcendental and eternal. Thus, he cannot be destroyed. By nature, he is full of bliss. He does not engage himself in any material activities. Therefore, the activities performed due to his contact with material bodies do not entangle him. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you.
This is the core teaching of Ramana Maharishi. This verse.
Then the next one, please.
Yeah. यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशं नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्र वस्थितो देहे तथा तहात्मा नोपलिप्यते. Translation: the sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul, situated in Brahman, vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body. Purport: the air enters into water, mud, stool, and whatever else is there. Still, it does not mix with anything. Similarly, the living entity, even though situated in varieties of bodies, is aloof from them due to his subtle nature. Therefore, it is impossible to see with the material eyes how the living entity is in contact with this body and how is out of it after the destruction of the body. No one in science can ascertain this. Harish.
Thank you. And the last one, please. Who would like to read? What's the page check?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yata prakashita eka kshetram lokam imam ravim kshetram kshetri tata stranam prakyasti bharata. Translation: O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. There are various theories regarding consciousness. Here in Bhagavad Gita, the example of the sun and the sunshine is given. As the sun is situated in one place but is illuminating the whole universe, so a small particle of spirit soul, although situated in the heart of this body, is illuminating the whole body by consciousness. Thus, consciousness is the proof of the presence of the soul, as sunshine or light is the proof of the presence of the sun. When the soul is present in the body, there is consciousness all over the body. And as soon as the soul has passed from the body, there is no more consciousness. This can be easily understood by an intelligent man. Therefore, consciousness is not a product of the combinations of matter. It is the symptom of the living entity. The consciousness of the living entity, although qualitatively one with the supreme consciousness, is not supreme. But the consciousness of one particular body does not share that of another body. But the supersoul, which is situated in all the bodies as a friend of the individual soul, is consciousness of all the bodies. That is the difference between the supreme consciousness and individual consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We now come to let's discuss these verses in further detail. I was just kind of grouping all these because some are explaining and some are giving analysis, but the emphasis is about to come to this understanding that I'm not this body. Yeah. So if we see here, this is one verse from last week that we discussed. Prakrityaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvasah ya pasyati tathatmanam akartaram sa pasyati. So this is the starting. What is saying is, Krishna is saying one who can see that all activities are performed by the body. The activities which are happening are by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. So, how difficult it is to come to this understanding. Hmm. Now, yeah, this means to really say that, okay, now when my hand is raising, is it I am raising my hand, or is it my body raising the hand, or is it something else? Hmm. This body is made by material nature under the direction of the super soul. This is very important. Yeah, you see, under the direction of the super soul, super soul, uh, he is granting us a body because we have some desire, we have some karma, and because of both. And whatever activities are going on in respect to one's body are not his doing. Huh? And whatever activities are going on in respect to one's body are not his doing. Whatever one is supposed to do, either for happiness or for distress, one is forced to do because of the bodily constitution. So after my classic example usually is, what is it? So my classic example is about uh, CD. Yeah, if you have a CD on which you have recorded some tracks on it, and then I did it and I gave it to Satish Prabhu. When Satish Prabhu is playing, obviously he will hear to what I have recorded it. So the CD, though initially it is uh, um, having nothing, but on that we have no tracks recorded. So when Satish Prabhu is playing, what will he hear? Whatever is uh, recorded on that. Similarly, what happens is that uh, whatever impressions and whatever all these things that we have is building as a bodily constitution, that okay, I am taking a body of a animal, or I'm taking a body of a tree, I'm taking a body of a human, I'm taking a body of a demigod. So these different bodily constitutions and our free will. Yeah, there is always this free will, we shouldn't forget. But at the same time, there is this um, yeah, the desire, which is free will, and the karma, because of which both of this we got this body, which means all now is by the laws of nature of that particular body, bodily constitution, activities are uh, directed. Uh, of course, there is one who is the individual soul who is saying how I want to live out of free will, and at the same time there is super soul who is saying, hey, but you have done something good or bad, or you have, I mean, because of karma or vikarma, you have done something, and you have this body, so you cannot, yeah, you don't have complete independence because you desire to have this constitutional body as a remix. So in that sense, uh, the self, however, is outside all these bodily activities. We should understand that in spite of the bodily activities, we should understand that the soul is who I am. Actually, I have nothing to do with this. This body is given according to one's past desires. To fulfill desires, one is given the body with which he acts accordingly. Practically speaking, the body is a machine designed by the Supreme Lord to perform full filled desire. Whatever desires we have to fulfill those desires, this body is given. Because of the desires now, because of this desire, one is put into different kinds of circumstances. Some are suffer, some are enjoyed. Again, what is happening? Because of that suffering, we tend to think that this is for this I, not this body. But Krishna is saying, who is the transcendentalist? When he has this vision and makes one separate from bodily activities, uh, so one who has such vision is actual self. That's what. And then these other verses are kind of basis. यदा भूत पृथक भावम एकस्थम अनुपश्यति तथा एव च विस्तारम ब्रह्म संपद्यते तदा. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains Brahman conception. What is that? What he attains is understanding to the state of Brahman. And what is coming into it? Here we see Krishna is saying a sensible man. A sensible man is the one who does this, and which means it's an intelligent, intellectual thing, and or actually it is even the right thing. What is it? A sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies. So at the moment, what are we seeing? Are we seeing something is a dog, something is a cat, something is a tiger, something is a lion, something is a thing, something is that human, this human. All these identities are based on what? Based on body. Thus, the absence of any material differentiation because of different bodies, uh, then a person is transcendentalist. A person is considered a transcendentalist when he starts seeing, hey, uh, um, if Shakti Priya Mataji, you wear a red garments today, tomorrow blue garments, yellow, day after the whole week you have 7 days, 7 garments. If you change, uh, are you changing?
No, Prabhuji.
You're still the same, Shakti Priya.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is only the garments that are changing, and which means when you identify yourself, you're not identifying with a particular dress. You're identifying with not that particular dress, but general in general, not with that dress. Definitely, this means you are different, and that is spirit soul. It means I am spirit soul. I am not this body plus dress, this body plus this. What do you call so and so identity. So a sensible man is the one who comes to this understanding that I am not his body. How many times would have we come across this line? Would we have discussed this so much? But still, are we able to free ourselves from this identity that I am not this body? Hmm? Still, we think that I am this body, isn't it? Not only that I think I am this body, I am also thinking others are having their own body. So whenever we are seeing, hey, if a person is attacking us, we think, hey, it is um the person is doing. We have a kind of mixed understanding of who is other person, or we have mixed understanding who is I am. A sensible person has no confusion. He understands that what is done by the body and what is done by the soul. He sees how beings are expanded everywhere and thus attain Brahman conception. Purified consciousness can thus develop Krishna consciousness. So this is what the purport Prabhupada is mentioning, that when one can see this, he attains spiritual vision, Brahman realization. Thus, being freed from differentiation like man, animal, big, low, etc., one becomes purified in his consciousness and able to develop Krishna consciousness in his spiritual identity. Hmm? How many of us still struggle that with this confusion of body and soul? Hmm? How many of us have this? We tend to still think that I am this body, or I think that I'm not this body, but I'm not. I don't know what is the difference. Am I really thinking I'm this body, or am I thinking I'm not this body? Hmm. We have this challenge, and when we say take some examples and keep them in our mind for our lifetime, then gradually we will detach our uh, identity, false identity, with the false identity, and refine to understand who we are. And here in that case, the examples are given from 32. Is explained. Uh, Anaditvam, due to eternity. Anaditvam nirgunatvat paramatmyam avyayam sharirastopi kaunteya nakaroti na vidyate. So, if we want to get free from this misunderstanding, what we should, those with the vision of eternity, can see that the imperishable soul is, I think Krishna in different places, he has already said what is the identity of a soul, what is the characteristics or attributes of the soul. It is soul is transcendental, it is eternal. Yeah? It is not just transcendental for a moment. Wow, for a moment I forget my body. For a moment I have some special experience. I have some divine light. I have some revelations, realizations. No, soul is always transcendental. It's not like, okay, for a moment, yeah, you get this trance. People call, no, there is some trance. No, it's not coming. Soul is anyway transcendental. Uh, and not only transcendental, it is eternal, which means that soul cannot perish after certain time. Oh, there is a lifetime given after 100 years. Okay, in Kali Yuga, this is said, na, after 100 years, the person dies, which means soul also may die. No, soul is eternal. Soul is not only transcendental, but is eternal and it is beyond the modes of nature. These three are very, very important for us because then we will start accepting law of karma. Otherwise, if you think that whatever is has to happen here, whatever I am doing, good or bad, I will enjoy or suffer in this life. After this life, there is no other thing. Uh, uh, I think the other day we were reading where a pontiff, a church priest, what he said. No, we don't believe in reincarnation or we just after we die, we either they believe in heaven or hell. But then Prabhupada challenges, isn't that a place again? Heaven or hell still is a place. It's not that, okay, uh, whatever you're doing everything here and then you end up in that place forever. No, you go to heaven, you enjoy the fruit, you go to hell, you suffer, and then again have to take birth in on earth. So, a transcendentalist, or actually, if we become, what is a transcendentalist? If we understand who we really are, which means if I am able to appreciate my own identity, which in today's world we have a big crisis. What is it called? Identity crisis. Who am I? I don't know. I was thinking that I am this, I am thinking I am that. I'm so much identity crisis we have. That is why, in spite of hearing quite often, in spite of um seeing how there are like what is it called near-death experiences. They still can't understand why, because we still tend to think that I am this body. Why? Because we are in the we have handed ourselves in the hands of mode of nature because we have given just like I or Parth Prabhu, we have uh, full freedom, uh, full freedom uh, to use your flat, yeah, wherever you're living, you have full rights because it's yours. But then what you did is someone you have subletted it. Now, do you have still the same right?
No, Prabhu.
Though you are independent, but still what's happening, you have confined your freedom, you have confined your identity, you have confined your, uh, um what do you call freedom? Yeah, freedom is the right word to towards some conditions or contract of subletting. So this is what we happens. Though we are fully independent, but what we have done is we started identifying ourselves with the body. Isn't that happens in our life? Huh? Isn't that the cause of our suffering? Is it not that is the cause of our envy towards others? Is it not the cause of our attachment to some? Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
Huh? So what is happening is in this, yeah, we started using people, yeah, for our happiness. And come on, people, are they just dumb? No, they are also smart. They'll also use us, right? Things are supposed to be used for our convenience, but we are using people for our. And then what is happening? It is causing a lot of suffering. One person does something, other person does something, both people don't go together a long way. After a short time, they start finding, hey, why is the person is doing like that? Why is he like this? Why is she like that? All these differences are coming on what? Is it the soul who is telling all these things? Hmm? Is it the soul? Am I really doing? The soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Krishna is saying, despite contact with material body, is saying, Sharirastopi kaunteya nakaroti nalipyate. This is very important. Can we really recollect this very often? If we recollect this often, then we develop a plethora of great divine qualities. At the moment, because we are not understanding this, we are not able to accept it, because the mind is kind of disturbing us, because mind identifies ourselves with the body, and the soul is so nicely thinking, yeah, I am part of it. Just imagine, I think this example is so nice. If you are watching an action movie, or what do we call, no, we are uh, old timers, yeah. If we watch a drama performance on the stage where the hero is beating the villain, everyone is attentively watching it. But after the show, if the hero is going to hit the villain, what the villain does, he pays back immediately. Who are you thinking? Why? Because we are. If I still think, hey, I can do just like I have done in the drama, then what is happening? The police will come, put us in jail. If we think that way, what will happen? We come to material world. Material world, what are the chains? There are gold chain, silver chain, iron chain, whatever chain, uh, based on whatever we have done, we are caught up in that chain and put in this prison of material world. And then we start identifying ourselves. Oh, I belong to this. After all, did I see anything else in the world? No, I only saw this jail. Uh, so we start thinking of our plans. How can I enjoy nicely in this jail? Isn't it? After all, otherwise, what is the purpose of life? Even whatever little happiness I can get here, let me do it. Uh, and then we don't even think of getting out. Uh, and then, uh, as soon as someone says, "Hey, no, if you completely purify yourself, then you can go out," then you say, "How much time it will take?" By the time, it will be too much. Let me continue. So this is what. But all these thoughts that are going on, these are at a bodily uh, level. These are not the soul that who is saying. The soul is always saying, "Hey, neither I have nothing to do with all these things." Isn't it so interesting? Isn't it? First of all, we were thinking that the Lord as a super soul and ourselves are different. Yeah, though we are in the same body. Yeah, the living entity, what is it doing? It's eating the fruit, and the spirit soul, sorry, the super soul is watching as a witness. In the case of two birds, right? One bird is eating the fruit, the other bird is seeing that this bird, whichever is eating the fruit. So that is the Paramatma, which means Paramatma is aloof already. Now we go even a further level that the super, not only the super soul is aloof of the activities that we are performing, even I myself am aloof of the activities that are performed by this body. But because I do not, what do we call? I do not have this refined vision, which we call transcendental or Brahma Nirvan or Brahma Gyan or Brahma Samyate. This is what, because we don't have that understanding. That's why what is happening. We identify with all activities that are happening with this body. And we even uh, mm, come to this that I am uh, not, mm, I tend to think I am the doer, and because I tend to think I am the doer, I am the sufferer. What is it? Karma or vikarma is the spirit of what? Doership. I did it. I did it. I did it. Yeah. After all, if you see a CC camera, yeah, it shows that who did it. I did it, isn't it? Adarasa Prabhu, who did it? Yeah. There's the recording footage that says that, oh, I did it. The Paramatma, who is also the recording, everything he's saying, recorded. In that, the activities, because we have confined ourselves within this body, the activities that are happening, then, okay, so we are entangled. And we are casted into the influence of modes of material nature, and accordingly we suffer. Yeah. But when we understand this, neither I am the doer, nor um, um, bound. So then he will be free. And then that is what is called the transcendental vision. And the verse 33 goes so, Yata Sarvagatam Saukshmad. This Akasham no lipyate Sarvatra Vastito Dehe Tatatma no lipyate, no papalipyate. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Though we see that. Have anyone heard this word Kshitij? The meaning of Kshitij. Anyone knows what is that? No.
Prabhu, the literal meaning would be the the person or the thing who born from the Chiti. I mean Akash.
Okay. Kshitij means that point where the sky is touching the earth. That is called Kshitij. And now, if we see from very far, we can see that the sky and earth are touching each other, or as if like everything is mixed up, right? Yeah. After some time, are we in a position to see is it the sky or is it the earth? Partha Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm?
Yeah, in the
But
horizon we can see that.
the horizon, that horizon is called Shruti. Yeah. So it appears as if like everything is mixed up. Yeah. But in reality, if you walk few more meters, few kilometers, thousands of kilometers, you can even fly. Yeah. You may go, okay, maybe all these buildings are coming on the way, in the way. So let me elevate my vision after going up. Also, what is happening? We see here, sky, earth. Are they mixing up? No. Huh? The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything. This is very important. We are also not this gross body. Hmm? When the sky itself, which is subtle, is not mixing, our soul is even further fine. Does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similar, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in that body. This is very, very difficult for us to understand because we always have this like, okay, where is the hand? This is my hand. Where is my head? It is here. Uh, where is my heart? It is here. Then the question comes, where is the soul? Oh, it's all pervading. Okay, if it's all pervading, hmm, what is the size of it? Shouldn't it be big as the body? No, the soul is same, even if it is in the elephant or is it in the fish or in the bird or in a human. What is the size? Very, 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 very infinitesimal. And then the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, which means if you see all the transcendentalists, whichever school of study they may be referred to, they all have one understanding at least that they are not this body. Hmm? Why? Because spirit soul identity is something saying that no, I and body are different. In the purport, Prabhupada is giving the air enters into water, mud, stool, and whatever else is there. Still, it does not mix with anything. Entering but not mixing. Why? Because the air is subtle. Similarly, the living entity, even though situated in various bodies, is aloof from them due to his subtle nature. Therefore, it is impossible to see with the material eyes how the living entity is in contact with this body. So that's why if I am able to see the hand, if I am able to see the head, if I am able to see legs and all these things, why? Because these are gross elements with which this body is made. But the soul is subtle. No one in science can ascertain this. Now, that is the challenge now, because our science, the way of how we accept science is by what? By seeing. And these subtle, we cannot see. That's why what we tend to say, hey, there is nothing like soul, it's only body. Even not only science, forget about science. Are we able to accept it? Are we able to understand? Okay, now Krishna is saying, but are we in a position to understand and accept it? We still tend to think I am this body. So when the sufferings are coming, I am taking it serious. When pleasures are coming, I'm taking it serious. We are very, very serious, isn't it? We are so serious that we don't even seriously understand, am I making a mistake or not? What do you say, Parth Prabhu? Madhu Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu, that's true. It's very difficult to understand sometimes.
That's why 99%
Yeah.
of our activities are only bodily related. What does it mean? Eating, sleeping, defending, mating, all these activities, yeah, are based on what? Isn't it for body?
Yes, Prabhu.
And then we will use the reason and justification. After all, we need to maintain this body, right? Krishna is saying that I supply everything that is required for this body. If that is the case, are we already protected? I think we already have shelter. But what are we doing? We are not saying, no, 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 I want a better cushion. I want a better sofa. I want a better bed. I want a better house. I want a better that. I want a better. And in that spirit of bettering our life, what is happening? Hmm? We have comforted so much, just like this golden cage. Everyone remember this cage example? Can someone say what is it? Hmm? There's a nice old lady who was taking care of a parrot in a golden cage. After all, she's very rich. Because she's very rich, she could afford a very nice golden cage. And then the parrot is inside, and the parrot got a carrot. So this parrot is enjoying the carrot. And then, because, yeah, no, the cage is no more like new when this parrot is in, right? So it started spoiling. So what this old lady she started doing is she was taking very nice care of this cage. She was polishing the grills of it and she was maintaining it so nicely, so nicely. In this care process, what is happening is they even forgot there is a parrot and it needs a carrot and it didn't feed it. And in this, what happened? One fine day the parrot died. What was the purpose of this golden cage? Hmm?
So we are basically maintaining this cage only, but we are not feeding our soul.
Right. We are giving utmost care. Yeah. What does it matter whether the cage was golden cage or whether it was silver or iron or a wooden or even a what do we call this? Um, mm, the bird itself made its own cages, right? Or not a cage but nest. Does it really matter what kind of? No, because we thought, okay, gold is so nice. Yeah. So what we do is we start adding more comfort or we start identifying, adding more prominence to this body. We give a lot of importance, and we think day in, day out only how to maintain this body, isn't it? How many of us having this challenge? I raise my hand. Hmm. How many of us have this challenge that we are too busy maintaining this body? It's my precious. Yeah, if you have seen what is that movie, Lord of Rings, right? This, it's always thinking, hey, it's my precious about the ring. I think we are also having such a ring. What is that? This body. It's so precious that I cannot. I am ready to do anything and everything to maintain this body. Because I'm of course scared of death. I am not only scared of death. I am thinking, hey, Lord, after all, gifted me this body that I can maintain a great life and be successful, be very happy. After all, is it not that the purpose? After all, Shastras are also saying that what are we? Anando Bhyasa, which means we are also pleasure seeking. It's not only Lord who is the one who is uh, ever blissful, even we are blissful. So how can we make it blissful? We think that we can make our life blissful when we provide all the comforts. Did the parrot uh, wanted a golden cage? Sarish Prabhu, did the parrot want the golden cage?
Yes, Prabhuji.
No, no.
Currently,
Hmm?
oh no, no, okay. Generally, you are asking. Yeah, it didn't ask. It can be free in the nature, Prabhuji. You're right.
Yeah. So we can be free. So, oh, maybe, no, but who, come on, is this, uh, it's forced by force, it has got into the cage. We have also forced ourselves because we had desires, unfulfilled desires we wanted. We entered in, we want protection, we took a support, and we didn't know what kind of support are we taking. And because we took such kind of support, which is um, casting, punishing, and all these things, we are not enjoying the freedom. We are not enjoying the happiness. Whatever things are happening, we think that this is happiness, isn't it? So this importance is that if we want to advance, if we want to be happy, if we want for whatever, uh, we need to understand that I'm not this body, I am soul. And whether we can believe it or not, I don't understand because I can't see it. Uh, from my childhood, I have been accepting what I can see. I can't accept this with oh soul is soul there. Is it not just some fantasy or or fictitious or mythological? I know that I am this body. That is for sure, right? Everywhere, right from roll numbers to mm, all kinds of identifications I have. I am a father, I am a mother, I am a sister, I am a brother, I'm American, I am Japanese, I am a dog, I am a cat. All kind of identities I can understand because I can see, I could relate them. But I am a soul. Ah, are you a fool to think like that? If someone is saying that I am a soul, people will just laugh. What are you thinking? So, because our activities are completely based on the body, that is the reason 99% of our thoughts we are not able to understand. That's why we think ourselves as fools to think that I am a soul, because we ourselves are not convinced that I am soul. When can we get freedom from this suffering? Is it possible? No. Huh? We should understand that I am more subtle than this body. And when I'm so subtle, how can I mix with this body? Which means I cannot mix with this body. Body is different, I am different. Though we are in the same place, just like the sky and the earth, yeah. You see that they never touch, or the air, or in fact, the next example, yeah. What is the next example is about the sun, yeah. Yata prakasayati ekah krishnam lokam imam ravihi kshetram kshetri tata kshetrang prakasayati bharata. So the example here is saying, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body. So illuminates the entire body by consciousness. So now we understand, okay, how to understand this? If science, I can see, I can feel, I can, yeah, there are so many exalted scientists who have brain dumped their intellectual uh, understanding that, okay, uh, this is how this world is functioning, this is how human health is, this is how the body is functioning, there is medicine, there is science, all these things are there. But this? How to understand this? When Krishna is saying that no soul is different, he is also giving example or analogy, just like sun. When in the morning, what are we seeing? The sun is illuminating the whole space that we are seeing, isn't it? Uh, Sun alone illuminates all the universe. Uh, is it like no, a torchlight that is there? I can lit up and I can see. No. Just the other day we were coming across the example. What was that? Uh, how can we uh, become successful in devotion? Yesterday we were discussing how by bhakti. And how can we get bhakti? How can we get bhakti? How can we? It is again given by whom? By the Lord. So just like if we wanted to see sun, how can we see? Uh, Only by the grace of the sun. Because if sun rays come, then you can see from that light, oh, there is sun. If if it is night time, can we see the sun even if we have a big torchlight? If you put this big torchlight onto the sky, can we see the sun? No. Just like how the sun illuminates everything, and with sun rays, we can know that there is sun. Similarly, uh, we have to understand this that in this body, there is one thing, if it's not there, then this body is dead. That one thing is the soul. And how? What is the attribute of it? Just like last verse we were discussing, it is transcendental, it is eternal, it is beyond material nature, modes of nature. It is also what? All conscious. Chit. It's full of consciousness. So, what is that? The consciousness that we have, whether when we are feeling that heat, when we are feeling cold, when we are feeling pain, when we are feeling pleasure, all these things. Does a dead body has this? Srikant Prabhu? Death. If we hit a dead body, what will happen? Will it get up and beat us back?
No, Andy. No problem.
No, right? That is the difference. Isn't it so easy to understand that there is definitely something which is differentiating a live body and a dead body? And what is that? That is soul. The body itself, when we think that I am this body, the body is still there. I am beyond this body, which is actually is moving based on the desire and karma into the next body. Once this dust or this body is unfit. So the consciousness is the one that is telling that, okay, still this body is alive, or this consciousness is actually the soul. And this consciousness is actually what? The spirit soul, or actually I. Hmm. Just like the example given is the sun alone illuminates all this universe. Uh, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminates the entire body by consciousness. Illuminates means, what does it mean? That it is the one that is actually what we call is alive. The consciousness of living entity, although qualitatively one with the supreme consciousness, is not supreme because the consciousness of one particular body does not share that of another body. There is further understanding because there is also a school of thought that says all Atma are same. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means I am the spirit. You are, if you say the same thing, or if 10 people say the same thing, and if everyone is saying same thing, which means Aham Brahma. So is it that Brahman is all same? No, the Lord has created each individual part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So every living entity is individual living entity. Though qualitatively we are the same, though qualitatively I am same, I am qualitatively same with Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, I am qualitatively same with Parth Prabhu or Satish Prabhu, qualitatively same, but doesn't mean that we are only one. We are, everyone is individual entity, individual living entity. This can be easily understood by an intelligent man. Therefore, the consciousness is not a product of combination of matter. So, when we say is consciousness not a mind thing? How many of us believe in this? I thought consciousness means something is related to mind. No one. So hello. Hmm? We cannot. Why? Because this consciousness, we are thinking it is mind. That's why now we say mind consciousness, unconsciousness. How many of us have heard if someone is goes into a coma? Huh?
Yes, that's true, Guruji. Because the
Hmm.
brain is not functioning properly, then it's nothing but consciousness,
Yeah,
conscious.
but are you saying that it's a mind thing? With mind, we are able to perceive the consciousness.
Because the brain giving the actions, what to do, not to do, anything.
Yeah, yeah. So the brain is giving, and we saying the intelligence or the consciousness is the functioning of mind. Yeah, but the mind is still there, right? In a dead body, also mind is there.
Yeah, because it's not live.
Yeah,
It's
but
dead.
still it's there, right? If we say it is mind is the function thing of the consciousness, we are saying that because of mind, the consciousness is working. You're getting the point?
Yeah,
Because we're identifying it to the mind or the brain, that's why we think that consciousness is also a material.
yeah,
Correct?
something.
Was it Akhilandeshwari Mata or is Shakti Priya? Who was saying that?
Yes, some other force is there, like it's Lord helping
And
us.
so we give a name called consciousness here, how the mind is perceiving, but that itself is not the consciousness. We identify it as consciousness, but consciousness is even refined or finer than that. What mind can mind through mind we are able to understand that okay, there is something beyond this gross body that which we can't see what is functioning. But the same thing, as soon as when a person dies, then this consciousness is not in that body, which means it is not the brain, it's not the mind, uh, it is the Atma, it is the soul, which is actually the consciousness. Uh, when the soul is present in the body, there is consciousness all over the body. And as soon as the soul has passed from the body, there is no more consciousness. Right? So, which means if the mind is perceiving something on the strength of what is it perceiving? On the strength of soul, isn't it? If the soul is not there, then mind, what is the use of the mind? If just like a hand is not able to work, just like a leg is not working, the mind also doesn't work. Right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. What do you say? I think it was Akhilandeshwari Mataji who asked, or Shakti Priya Mataji, one of them.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree completely your perception view. It's correct, Ji. Yeah,
Yeah.
Guruji. Some soul
So,
is driving us actually.
yeah. So, what is happening is that because we ourselves have not understood it exactly properly, what is happening is we are confused, isn't it? And because we are so much confused, we try to think, oh, is it really possible for me to have understand? Is it really needed to understand all this? And we tend to live a simple life. Whatever is difficult to my mind, let me not think about it. That's why so many people are not taking seriously their own life. We are taking very seriously about our material life, but we don't even want to think about our spiritual life, isn't it? We are arranging everything that is required so that my day goes very smooth. Whatever I have planned, it should happen. Uh, no surprises. Okay, pleasant surprises are okay, but unpleasant surprises I cannot afford. For that matter, that's why let me make my life foolproof, right? Let me make my life such a way that it's foolproof, that nothing can disturb my plans. But have anyone had succeeded for their entire life like that in history? Only transcendentalists could pass the test. If we talk about materialists who build bigger forts, who is that? Alexander the Great, who have conquered everything. What happened to him? What is his realization? He can't take anything with him. For that matter, why to earn so hard? Hmm? Isn't it? So are we not taking our material life so seriously because we identify ourselves with the matter? We have identified with activities. We thought that, hey, if someone has that, I need to have this. Or if that is out of envy, or if someone is happy, I cannot see, that is jealous. Or I want it out of greed. Though Lord has given what we need, we want more. All these things, what are we asking for? We are asking for material things. And what is matter? It is temporary. Dukkhalayam akashvatam. The material world, it is not Vaikuntha. Did anyone write? Did we come across, even in our scriptures, Vedic scriptures, that this earth is made? It's our Vaikuntha. No, it is Kuntalayam. It is a place of what? Anxiety. Vaikuntha is place where there is no anxiety. Is there anyone who is not going through the anxiety phase? No, there are so many. What will happen if I don't earn? What will happen if I have health problems? What will happen? Who will take care of me? So many anxieties. Why? Because it's all about our, where are we living? Dukkhalayam, and then Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. One good thing here is that, if there are sufferings, the good thing is that this suffering will not be forever. There are also some happy moments. But unfortunately, those happy moments will not last again. What is like seasons? Shitoshna Sukha Dukkha. Just like seasons change, uh, happiness and distress keep changing. And why? Because we identify with this body. But our real identity is what? Are we the car, or are we the driver? Or are we even not these two? Hmm? You may recollect this chariot with 5 horses, and the charioteer and the person who is sitting in the chariot, or the master. Uh, these 5 horses are 5 senses: uh, ears, nose, tongue, all these 5 senses, sense organs. They are the vehicles through which we can actually go somewhere. Yeah, but they should be under whose control? These senses should be under control of mind. But then, is the mind everything? Is the mind doing everything? Again, coming back to the consciousness we were talking. No, not the case. The mind is still under whose direction? The master's direction. Who is the master? Master is the soul. Huh? If the driver thinks himself that I can do anything, then the master will simply change. Okay, you're not fit for the job. Then the master will correct the mind. Like, no, you should think that I am not this body. You should start accepting that I am the soul. You are the servant of the soul. You have a purpose. What is the purpose? You should become my friend. How do you become my friend? By elevating my consciousness, by helping to understand that, okay, I am not this body. And for that, whatever needs to be practiced to do that. Yeah, Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu.
Yes, Guruji.
interesting discussion going on. I Prabhuji wanted to understand more clearly that mind and soul. So there is only one driver in the body who is soul. But
No,
yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. Mind is not, uh, mind is the driver,
mind is
not the soul.
driver. Mhm.
Mind is the driver. But the
Mhm.
driver, does he has independence? After all, he is a driver.
Mhm.
He is the
So
driver of
Prabhuji,
one
these
who is
thoughts,
sitting.
the thoughts coming in mind unwillingly, or yeah, some random thoughts
Yeah.
randomly come in the mind. Is
Hmm.
this just the function of mind? So it is not soul generated
No,
from soul, these
no,
thoughts? Or
no. That is what we are reading all these four verses. These four verses are telling that it is not the soul functioning. The soul is aloof. One who is seeing that it's not it is the mind, which is actually, as I said, it said, mind is our enemy. But if we understand this, that all this functioning, whatever is on the bodily platform, it is not. This is the way to understand. How can we understand which we cannot see? Huh? Just if someone is saying, "Do you have mind?" Yeah, we say, "Yes, I have mind." Show me there some microscope or any specific tool or instrument through which we can see it? No, but we can see it. It's functioning, isn't it?
Mhm. Yes. So Prabhuji, the feeling or willing or
Sorry,
desiring something
I
is
think I
coming
have to,
from not soul? Or
one second. I have to refine my analogy. I think so. Sorry. The horses are the senses. The rope is the mind, and the person driver is the intelligence. Sorry. So the mind, as you said, now mind is just what it is, just having all the impressions that we are seeing every moment.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it is through intelligence. The driver is the one who is saying, okay, turn left, turn right. So it is the uh, disc. What do you call it? Mm, uh, um, what do you call it? Discretion ability. Yeah. So through which we can say what are we doing right or wrong. So yeah, sorry. And thanks for bringing up that I could go back to this analogy where it says the horses are the senses, the rope is the mind, the driver is the intelligence, and still this intelligence is under the control of the soul who is sitting inside it. We are the body, right? We are in this body where there is subtle body, there is the gross body. What is the subtle body?
Mind, intelligence, ego.
Yeah, yeah. So in that way, we understand that who are we? Subtle, very subtle. We can't see. But then who is the driver actually? The driver to the driver, right? So the master is telling the driver what he should do. Hmm. So rather, if we see that no, whatever actions I'm doing, living entity is performing. No, Krishna is clearly telling here, no, the living entity is not performing. He's thinking he's performing. Just like in the drama, the hero is thinking he's beating the villain, right? In reality,
Mhm.
he's not doing it because he's getting he starts believing in that no, really I am the one who is beating. So what is happening is that he tends to associate with it and then creates. So this is also what is happening in this world. What we are doing, all the doership, we are taking it on ourselves. That our is so strong that we are taking it uh, to the soul, but the soul is not the one who is causing all these problem disturbances. After that, the mind who is creating problem, the body which is creating the problem. But because we identified it, that's why I think this is what is in the next verse. It is saying that uh, is it example comes next? No, this is the last word. 35, 33 example. Here it says the sky due to certain nature does not mix Similarly, the soul doesn't mix, but we are not understanding this. What we still tend to think is that those with a vision of eternity can see the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with material body, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Huh? Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, this line clearly says Krishna is saying that the soul is not doing anything. There is a whole chapter, 14th chapter is telling because we think that we are doing. That's why what is happening because we are in a mode of material nature. The body is under the influence of what? Modes of material nature. And that's why we take all the doership. And because we are thinking these, and that's why we are getting affected. And who is that we? Is the soul doing anything? No, he's not doing anything. But because we tend to think I'm doing anything, so we are again given a body. Because until we clarify this misunderstanding, until we have the clear vision, we are going through this process. Just like a person, give an example of Sahajiya, right? If he or she is thinking, hey, I am a gopi, yeah, yeah. What is that? Is it not a misidentification? Yeah. Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, that point I understood, but the next point comes that if soul or consciousness, is it something passive only? It is not thinking or willing or feeling. It is,
Soul
I mean, the
is,
active part is mind or thinking intelligence. That is, or I mean, the symptom that life has.
when we are
Or
saying consciousness, so it is completely active. When we are saying soul is full of consciousness, how can we say it is passive? If one is full cognizant, does it mean that, oh, he's passive if he doesn't do anything? He's already doing every moment that he's cognizant of everything what's happening.
but then, Prabhuji, cognizance also includes thinking and deciding and not these things.
Cognizant also is in that sense right, but what here in reference I brought this cognizance is this whole consciousness is an active thing. Just imagine when the soul is not there, when the cognizance is gone, that perception that okay, the body is not functioning at all. Hmm? So just like a power, is power itself doing anything? No. What is it doing? It's power supplying power. No, but that is the reason why the whole washing machine is working. And now if we say, hey, electricity is passive, current is passive, no, right?
So, Prabhuji, is it like the logic is built in the washing machine and the power is supplied by the soul?
Yes, yes, the logic is built because based on what we desired, accordingly we are getting the body. If we want to wash our clothes, we are putting in washing machine. If we want to dry them, we put in a dryer. Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah. So ideally, the purpose of this energy is to do what? But we are misusing because we identify, I want a washing, I want a drying, I want that, I want this. That's why we are casted or we are getting, not ca- we are facilitated to get this kind of body because we desire. But in the end, when we understand, hey, I have nothing, no business to do with all these things. Just imagine a guy is opening a barber shop in Punjab. No, sorry. Or if he opens a barber shop in Tirupati. Huh? Who are his customers? No one, right? Hmm. In Tirumala, anyway, everyone will go, they give a clean shave, anyway, it's done. Why do a barber require? Anyway, very unusual example. But the point here is that we realize that, hey, I have now no business with this body. Whatever has happening is only kind of I myself getting entangled. But when I come to know my identity, I will behave properly. Huh? A madman and a common man, what is the difference? A madman He is doing whatever comes to his mind, whatever, and then he thinks he's not punishable, right? No, he will be punished. He will be put in what? Mental asylum, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
A madman doesn't escape because he has misidentified himself, he has confused himself, he is causing disturbances. Yes, when he's causing disturbance, how can he be allowed common? When we identify with this body and we think that this body is very important, this body is the one which is giving pleasure and everything, why will we get entrance to the spiritual world? Why couldn't? No, because we have misidentified, we have put in rather a correction or a reformation or a transformation spot. Yeah, what is that? This material world. Hmm? Because
But
I have
Prabhuji,
been
soul.
identifying.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
no, go ahead.
So Prabhuji, soul itself has the complete package. So thinking, willing.
Soul is the owner. The soul is, yeah, uh, the soul is, what do you call it? All pervading within this body. So he is the one who is giving every element, gross and subtle body, the ability to function. Yeah. And just like a hand has its function to do, a brain has its function to do, all these things are working because the soul is present. As soon as the soul is gone, nothing is functioning, which means who is the owner, who is the master? Is the mind the master or is the soul the master?
Yes, soul.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how we understand. So that's the reason when this conscious, it's not a passive thing, it is the active thing. And when this active thing is out, then this passive body loses its power. So rather we can see this passive, just like if you go to what is it called, kirmes, evening 5 o'clock till midnight, whatever time, all whole kirmes is lit up with lights, music, all everything, all the lights are going. After that, what is happening? When everything is turned off, if you sit in the giant wheel, will it take you round and round? No, it won't.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
But Prabhuji, when the soul moves ahead, so when they're in the spiritual world without covering, stand alone, then yeah, there is also feeling, thinking, willing, everything, right?
Yeah, because the soul has. So what happens when we go to spiritual world? We get a spiritual body. Yeah, which means again a body, and it has its functions. And again, what? Who is the master? Individual living soul. And the master is directing how the spiritual body functions, how the body can render service to the Lord.
Mm.
Hmm? Once we get what is it called? Swarup. Yeah, our real spiritual body there. We function according to what is it? It could be that we become a tree, we become a water body, we can become uh, a servant who is mm, arranging fruits. We don't know what service, or could be singing kirtan.
Mhm.
Mm. So it is this living entity is always the master, but it's not the super master. Yeah, supreme master is who? Purushottam. Who is Purushottam? Mm. Krishna. He is the supreme. And who is subordinate? We are only Purushas, or even to the extent we are even Prakriti. Yeah, it depends how we engage ourselves. Hmm. We are only marginal energy. If we engage in the service of the Lord, then we are Purushas, because after all, we are serving the Lord and Lord is pleased and He also gives us facilities to enjoy. But if we go to inferior energy, then when we get in contact and we identify ourselves with body, are we really enjoying? We think that we are enjoying, but we are not enjoying because the the pleasure that we are getting, it's only bodily. So the spirit soul is not enjoying. And this is also a very important aspect, Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, that soul is not passive. Soul is what? Sat Chit Anand. It is it's experiencing eternal bliss, but it is in a dormant stage. That's why we are not seeing it.
So
Yeah.
Prabhuji, all these materials, this enjoyment
Mhm.
for the taste or anything, this is stopped up to the point of mind, and then beyond, the soul
Yeah.
is loosely bound with this
Yes.
enjoyment or
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Just like if I give you a piece of plastic instead of chocolate, can you enjoy it?
No.
Hmm? At the moment, what is happening is because of jaundice of the body, not the real jaundice, but when a person is having jaundice, if he is given sugar candy, still he doesn't taste it sweet, right? It's bitter.
Mm.
Similarly, whatever enjoyment that we are thinking that this is to the soul, soul doesn't. It is only the body which is enjoying.
Mm.
Now the question become, after all, this is my body, right? Shouldn't it have happiness? Shouldn't it get pleasure? All these questions will come, but yeah, after all, it shouldn't bind us. After all, we are the master. It is not the driver decides where I have to go. It's that I decide where I have to go. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Mm.
Okay. Is your question clear or?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's I can understand now.
Mhm. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? Prabhu, I saw your hand raised. Mhm.
Prabhu, I was having a little confusion between the intelligence and consciousness. Are they same or
Intelligence and consciousness.
yeah?
Intelligence and consciousness.
Because you said that in the chariot the ropes are mind, the charioteer is the um, 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 is our
Intelligence.
intelligence.
Mhm.
So what is consciousness then?
The driver is the intelligence. The guy who's sitting in the back is the consciousness, the real
Okay.
ego, the real I. At the moment, because we are in the body, that's why we have false ego. That's why we even don't understand what is that. So that is the reason we identify with this body. But the real ego, not the false identification, is the one who is the owner, who is the one who is sitting in the back seat. If you see this background which is behind me, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in that you see Krishna uh, uh, is driving the chariot. Hmm. He's not just riding with his wings, whatever is his a charioteer duty is to do what? Whatever his master says.
But here Krishna is the supreme. So he I mean, if we represent him as the intelligence, so he's the
We are not
master.
representing him as intelligence. We are just using the analogy where here we are not talking about Krishna riding the chariot.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about that our intelligence is driving our chariot.
Yes, true. So we have to control our mind through intelligence.
We have to control our senses through this mind, which should be under the control of our intelligence, and intelligence in turn should be under the control of I.
Consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Satish
Thank you.
Prabhu, sorry, Peter Prabhu, you have a question?
Yeah.
Or you want to?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Sorry, Andy. I'm new to this thing, but please ignore my ask. That's not right. If I'm the master, right? So how do I know what I should do, what I should not do, or what is my aim, or what is my kartavyam?
Yeah. So if yeah, this is very nice situation. Like if someone is a newly married, all of a sudden he becomes the master of the house, and now he how to know what are his duty, right? I'm sorry, I'm giving example, so that through example we can understand. Yeah, best thing is before we get married, we know everything. That's why in the Gurukul those days, how a brahmachari should lead a life was described, how a grihastha should lead a life is described, how a vanaprastha should lead, how a sannyasi, all this education is there. And after, just like we go through schooling and then we qualify ourselves for higher education and higher jobs, similarly, the education is very important. And through Gyan, through this knowledge, as simple as taking shelter of Bhagavad Gita, what is happening is we are getting this knowledge. Then we understand, okay, as a master, uh, what is my responsibility? What does it mean that I am master? Uh, is it that master means that I should control this body? I should control this body, this mind, this intelligence. Yes, but for what purpose? The purpose is to attain what? The supreme goal. Okay, Parabrahma, Parabrahmam, Paramdhamam. What is that supreme destination? Who is that supreme Lord? And after all, now I know that okay, the Lord is supreme. There is Vaikuntha, there is spiritual world, that is a destination. But then there is also a practice. What we should do? Okay, first identify who we are. We are eternal servants of the supreme Lord. The relationship between me and God is what? The Lord is the supreme master, and I am his servant. So I am master to understand this. I am so as we say, if the owner of the chariot is the master of the chariot, doesn't mean that he is the supreme master. He is only the chariot. He is only the master of that chariot, and he will tell, okay, go in this way, go that way, so that I can attain my goal. Just like if I have to go to Australia from Germany, I'll look up what flights go there and then I'll take those and then I'll leave. Similarly, to attain this Parandham and Parabrahmam, to attain that state, what I should do is the education that is given in Bhagavad Gita or similar scriptures. When we understand this, then we understand I am given the independence, I am given freedom, I am given this free will that I can work, I can do something, and for what purpose? To attain supreme destination. That is the purpose of we given the master role, that we can drive our chariot back to the home, back to destination. And yeah, there are ample. If we take shelter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, through this knowledge, what is happening is we detach ourselves with misunderstanding, and then when we just losing misunderstanding doesn't solve the problem. It is only solving half of the problem. And I'm very happy that you asked this question. After knowing that I am master, what should I do? Huh? After all, is that the goal to just know that I am soul? No. The goal is not just to know that I am the soul, but to know what is the role of as a soul we have to play, which is what? To be, to understand our forgotten relationship with the Lord. Once upon a time, we were in the spiritual world serving the Lord, but we somehow or the other we end up here. Now, our goal as a master, as the freedom that is given in our hand, is to do what? Is to re-establish this connection by practicing bhakti. Through the process of bhakti, by developing this earnest interest of refixing our relationship, just like a child is lost in a fair. If a child is lost in a fair, can he ever be happy? He can never be happy. Even if one is giving him ice cream, if someone is bringing him some snacks, some food, or some entertainment, all these things are temporary. In this world, we have seen so many such temporary things that are giving us happiness. But as soon as these things go away, because the nature is they cannot stay with us forever, or even if they stay forever, we are not satisfied that with anymore. We always want more and more and more, and this is not going to give us satisfaction. Ultimately, what will give us satisfaction? The child, as soon as he finds his father, then he will be happy. Isn't the case? That is the case, right? So as soon as he identifies, oh, I found my father, that gives him happiness. All other things are only kind of mitigating situation for a while. But the real thing is when we see a, a father, eternal father, who is that? Parameshwar, who is the supreme controller, and he is uh, uh, the father who has given the seed for all living entities. In that way, then we understand, okay, Aham bija pratapita. So he says, Krishna is saying, I am the one who is giving the seed. So everything is coming from him. Then we understand, okay, you are the master. You are the supreme master. I am your supreme servant. And when we understand this, then we are having a real identification and we are also making our life successful. So these are two steps. One is to detach from misunderstanding of I am not this body. This is first thing. And second thing is to reconnect. That is why we are talking about. If you see Bhagavad Gita, the chapter names are Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, all these yogas. Why? Because through these means we want to reconnect back to the God. So, Srikant Prabhu, hope this answers your question. Or
Yes, indeed. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you. Satish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think very deep discussion on topics, Prabhuji. So couple of thoughts, Prabhuji. They say generally, Bhagavad Gita has got, 3 yoga, and this is Jnana Yoga from 13th chapter. So I believe all our, different, schools of thoughts are arising based on these chapters. And also reflecting back to the discussion between you and Parth Prabhu, the beautiful depiction of Krishna and Arjuna behind you, Prabhuji, though we say Krishna's intelligence, I think my perception is it exactly fits in because in this role of Krishna, he promised that he will never use his mystic power and he will be only the intelligence, Prabhuji. If I think the entire Kurukshetra war, he never used his mystic power. Even this, Amavasa Purnima, that was also his, no magic done, but he, the people, I think Navagraha came and said, how can you tell such a wrong thing? Then he said, no, both of you are together. So today, so that perfectly fits. And one question, Prabhuji, is where does free will come into this whole? Because I think this complicated discussions, whatever we have been having, it is completely encompassed in this one image behind you, Prabhuji. Senses, mind, intelligence, conscious. But where does free will come and fit into all of these things?
The free will is the one the master is able to say what he wants, isn't it?
Yes.
From there, everything is coming. So when we are saying the soul has its free will. As soul has, a living entity has its free will. So he is able to say, hey, intelligence, I want to achieve this. And he is directing the mind and he is directing the senses. So you see that free will is present at every moment. But are we using the free will for what? Indriya, for our own sense enjoyment, or are we using the free will for the pleasure of the Lord? So that is the deciding factor. How are we using our free will? The free will is there. Why? Because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Yes, the Lord is completely independent. Whatever he desires, whatever he wants, he does. Similarly, as we are his children, so we also have free will. But we are not having complete free will because we are uh, tiny. In quality, we are very little. We are equal, but in quantity, we are very tiny. So this free will for us is within the jurisdiction. What is the jurisdiction? That if we want to serve the Lord, then this free will is fully used. And then we see so many things. Yeah, we see like Shakti Avesh Avatar or whatever they were talking before. This is completely, can you imagine a person at the age of 69 can do so many great things? No, right? But as soon as when we use this free will for bodily material comfort, material pleasure, or other goals, then what is happening? This free will is kind of binding us. So with the free will, the function, coming back to your question, the functioning of the free will is to either liberate us or to kind of put in bondage. That is the role of free will that we have.
Fantastic, Prabhuji. I think this was helpful. And one more question, Prabhuji, where does the super soul sit in the chariot, Prabhuji? And also, we have
Super soul
Hanumanji.
is sitting next to him. This is what is said. The both are sitting next to each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Chiruka song of Annamaya also,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
Jiva. And Prabhuji, we have, I think this chariot, everything is critical, Prabhuji, every little detail. I think whatever philosophy was spoken is very relatable to the chariot. But we have Hanumanji also, and I think that is a very important character because once, Krishna gets down, the chariot burns, and I think it was that Hanuman was guarding. So how does Hanuman's analogy fit into the philosophy of? Does it have an analogy fit in it, or?
I mean, our analogy is not about the chariot of Krishna and Arjuna. Our analogy was the chariot of horses, the driver and the passenger.
Okay.
So I think now we are putting that in to see if can we make something out of this also. I don't know.
Yes, that was the thing. Okay, Roshi. Thank you,
Yeah.
Roshi. Very good.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. That is what I've said about the chariot. That is its features. I don't know if there is about someone using this as means to also explain further. I don't know. Yeah, maybe someone would be doing or would have done it. I
Maybe
don't
I will
know.
search for it, Prabhuji. But I think, it completely fitted. And even Patru was asking about Krishna. But yeah, Krishna's role here is not a super soul. He's only an intelligent guy because he took a vow of not using Narayana Sena. So I was just trying to relate, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very good.
Thank you. Yeah, Srikant bro.
Yep, two questions only. Maybe
Yeah.
one is answer why Hanumanji is there, because as maybe Arjuna, right? So this super soul who sits, who watches, who does, who knows all the things. He or she, or maybe it's sorry to say, but it may know that what Arjuna is going to do after the war. I killed my Gurujis, I killed Bhishma, the undefeatable, I killed everyone, my teacher and all those people. So I'm the super strong person, right? So I even asked the Lord Krishna to be my servant or to be my driver, right? So always the driver is always one person below than the person who is asking him to drive, right? So then he may this egoism may come. So that is maybe one reason. As soon as both Lord Krishna and Arjuna will get on from this chariot after the war, not like they were dead, but after the whole war is done, then as soon as Hanuman leaves this chariot, then it is been burned down. So then that means that he knows that now he will realize that it is not only his thing, there's some other thing that is helping his chariot to be stable. If there is no chariot, he can't ask Lord Krishna to do anything. So there are no horses, there's nothing, right? So maybe that is maybe one reason. In my little sense, why Hanuman was there, and maybe to stop Arjuna to not to get into this egoism. Yeah. So my question, one question is that does will be ever free, or because if it's a free will, right? The wind can say that I'm free, so I can stop breathing or I can stop moving, right? So, but wind or maybe super soul or anything, they do something, right? Like Lord Vishnu come in the form of Lord Krishna, maybe it's vice versa, it's different things. But someone is doing, even though the super soul is actually creating all the souls, or maybe splitting the super soul into small souls, then letting it into body generations, into the different trees, different living beings, non-living beings, and all those things, right? So, why they are doing it, what they're doing it. So, from the person, from the pretext, I mean, from the context, does will be ever free? Will, what we call as will, we say it is free will, it is force will. Always we start fighting, right? So free versus forced is always the fighting, right?
Okay.
So yeah, please.
If we go back to the first one, yeah, if we want to use our free will to narrate this wonderful chariot to enhance the analogy that Shastras are given, what when you were telling I could relate was Hanumanji, right? So yeah, you could see that when Satish Prabhu was asking what could we depict from the Hanumanji. So, and after you have asked this or you have also been say, I could see that, okay, there are two important things that happened after the war, right? When Krishna and Arjuna got down, then the chariot got burned, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
After
Yeah,
this.
what does it mean? What does it mean? We can see this as, again, I don't have any Shastric references. Maybe just this is my thought. Yeah, this body is temporary, and what happens in the end? It's burnt. Yeah. Once the job is done, then there is no need of this body. This is one thing that came to my mind. And second thing, when you were asking where is the super soul, so we could also see that maybe the super soul is doing this role of the Hanuman and the chariot, on the chariot, where is he? Okay, he is witnessing and giving, um, yeah, on one side he is witnessing and he's also giving direction. Hmm. In the end, what is happening is that Paramatma in us, he is doing what Hanumanta and Upadrashta. He is watching what we are doing, and then he is also permitting. Just like how he was giving protection, that the charity didn't burn when so many astras came, right? So in that way, we can also see that, okay, the role of this flag, after all, Krishna is also declaring, right? In the end, wherever Krishna is, Arjuna are there, and along with this flag, Hanuman is there is always victory. So in that sense, we can see that, okay, the role of Paramatma is there. Otherwise, we would just go crazy, like however we want. We will just do things like we want. Because then I relate to your second question, Srikanth Prabhu, about the free will. We would simply misuse our free will. Hmm? Otherwise, when there is no direction, when there is no directions coming, what I should do, if there is no this, like, okay, Paramatma is also called what? He is also is called the spiritual master. Paramatma, in the form who is present inside us, who is the one who is our spiritual master, our guru, Antaranga. From within, there is always sometimes some things, we should do like this so that we can elevate. We should not do this. So Guru, who is present inside us, Paramatma is also doing that. He's not just only doing that to witness, but he's also directing. So in that way, we see that on one side we are given the free will, but he's also saying, okay, there is this free will. People may say, hey, come on, is there free will at all? Yeah, we have free will. That is the reason we are sitting here. Did what could be the reason that why we are having Bhagavad Gita class today? Srikanth Rao? Okay, the class is there because of someone is conducting, but why are we attending it? Is it not our free will? Forcing us, right?
There's something directing us to say that we have some gaps or we need to learn something, we need to expose ourselves to the wider perspectives, something like that.
We are
Something
thinking
else
that it is, we are thinking it is because we thought it could be useful, we thought it is we. So there is also this Paramatma who is inside, who is helping us, directing us to use our free will. In the end, Krishna is telling to Arjuna everything. He spoke everything Bhagavad Gita, and finally he told you decide you want to fight or not.
Yeah.
So Krishna is not taking free will of Arjuna. Otherwise, Krishna would
No.
simply say, hey, I am going to drive you to Duryodhan. You have to shoot arrow. You just do as I am saying. No, he didn't do that. He told all the Gyan. He gave all the enlightenment, what is required. And then he asked Arjuna to decide. In spite, Arjuna has accepted Krishna as his guru. Still, Guru, what he told, he gave all the knowledge, he gave all the wisdom, Jnana Vijnana. And then after that, he said, you decide. So, is there no free will?
Yeah, I think that is will, but I'm not sure if that is free or these things. So, but that
And now,
is the one controlling. Yes, sir, please go.
Yeah. And then when we talk about free will, what kind of free will we have is it depends how much mature we are. Hmm? Just imagine um, if there are what do you call this wild animals? Yeah, you have a stronger sense, right? Better protection. Yeah. If you are very not so wild, yeah, then there are different kinds of fencing. So depending on how much are we misusing our free will, accordingly such a conditioning is provided through this body. So just like I have a free will doesn't mean that I can eat stool, isn't it? Because
Yes.
I have a free will. Yeah, so you are right that this free will also has its limits. This free will doesn't make me to eat anything. This free will is telling me, okay, I can entertain only these things. But if I think, no, I also like to eat stool, then the Lord is giving us a different body in the form of hog or a dog or, a pig. For it, okay, eating filth is their daily business.
Mhm.
So even in that case, it has this free will. Hmm.
Yeah, but
So when we're talking about free will, Lord says, I can give, I, I, I will never interfere with your free will. This is what Krishna is giving assurance. Krishna is telling you are fully independent, but when again this fully independent, it is we have conditioned ourselves that I want this kind of body, or I can't, I have this kind of desires, I can have this kind of desire. That's why we are misusing our free will. That as I give the example of the Parth Prabhu, he is the owner of the flat, but he has given this flat as a in a rental agreement with someone. Thus, he has the free will to enter his own house.
no.
And whom to be blamed or whom to be attributed to? It is part of he decided he wanted to give it to rent. He gave it.
Mhm.
Did Lord say no? He force him? No. It is it. Now we may think no. Come on, everything happens because in scriptures it is said that nothing happens without Lord's permission. Yeah, we are talking about permission. We are not talking about force. Did he demand that we? Did he demand that Paul Prabhu should rent his flat? No.
No.
He is just permitting because without permission it will not happen. Definitely, that permission is the one Upadrashta and Anumanta. Anumanta as a permission grantor, he is doing that. Otherwise, nothing happens. But who is the cause of that? It is our free will. We have the free will. We have exercised it for good or bad, and the Lord is giving it, but at a cost. What is the cost? If we are doing something bad, then we are given a bad karmic reaction. If we are doing good, we are given a good karmic reaction. Now, please tell me, if we are telling we are doing something because of karma, who is the cause of this karmic reaction?
Lord.
Huh?
Sorry,
Us. But
us.
who is granting it? The Lord.
Yeah, Lord.
Just like when there is a court case, huh? There are two parties fighting. Judge will decide like party A is correct. Huh? What judge is doing, he's only giving judgment, right?
Yes.
But who is the actual guy who is committing is someone else.
Yeah.
So in that way, we understand that at every moment we are having free will, and this free will, the influence of this free will increases the more and more we become good. Just if what do we call this? If a buffalo is very aggressive, it will be simply tied to a pole. What is its freedom? It can go round and round around the pole with that whatever rope it has, right?
Mhm.
If this buffalo is not so much aggressive, then it can enjoy the whole field, the fence. The fences are only the borders. Until that, it can have whatever grass is on the fields. It can go to the shade. It can go to water on its own. It need not wait for the master to arrange all these things, isn't it?
Mhm.
So in both the places, there is free will. Hmm? But what is this free will? Is it unlimited, completely independent? There is limit. Why? Because we Either we ourselves have created situations like that out of our desire or karma. Now, sometimes we call it as no, it's providence, it's destiny, all these things. That's why if something has to happen, it will happen. Why will it happen? Because we desired in some lifetime something like that we wanted. That's why it's happening. So who is the cause of it? I mean, on this matter, there is very, very nice topic, very nice pastime, Govardhan Leela. I think in October next month, we will also be discussing that. I'll be very happy if you join, because there the same thing happens when all they wanted to do the yajna to Indra. Huh? Then Krishna is asking, why you want to do all these things to Indra? Huh? Then Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's father, he is saying reason A, reason B, reason C, all these things. Krishna is saying all these things are not the reasons why we are enjoying. That it's very nice conversation. Yeah, we will be definitely coming across that in Kartik month, and I'll be very happy if you can join. Yeah, there we touch on this aspect. That clearly still shows that we have free will. It's not forced will. I mean, first time, and very nice to think about this. Oh, forced will. A forced will is given to whom? To prisoners, right? If someone is doing something wrong, then he is forced a will, right? The judgment. The judge is saying he's convict and put him in jail. That is forced will. And Krishna, who is all loving, why will he do that? If a father, why will he do that? Only if the child is to be disciplined. If the child needs to be corrected, then these things come. If a child is watching video game all the time, then what the parents will do, they'll simply take away the phone. No. This kid becomes very crazy. Otherwise, if he doesn't have phone, yeah, if you don't listen now, he will create problems later. Yeah, so better to control now. So it all this free will depends on how aggressive we are and how submissive we are. If we are more submissive, we enjoy, just like a hire, right? The father wants to give his all property to whom? To one who is submissive to him, not to one who is very aggressive. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We touched so many topics. But
Yeah, it is complex, complicated. Yeah, it is.
yeah.
But it is nice.
Yeah. Thank you. I think we hit the clock, 11. Any other questions? Keep it, because we will summarize this whole chapter in the next session, because that is the last verse, 13th chapter. And then if at all we have time, then we will kind of discuss what is coming in chapter 14. Until then, have a nice weekend as well as week. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.